welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook, joined by Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley Jr. I'm Wilson Tarbett Jr. Again, welcome to Wizards Outlook. Washington bounced back from their loss to Golden State at home on Martin Luther King Day by beating the Knicks on the road 116-105 in Bradley Beal's return. Ray, we'll start with you. Just your thoughts on Washington's win, what they have next, and just obviously just for bouncing back from, we talked about last episode what happened in the Capitol with the reigning champs.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to get a win. I mean, they did enough to get the W. I mean, it was a wire-to-wire victory. They really started off on the Knicks' neck, and they were able to sustain it throughout the game. But I mean, always with the Wizards, like I never get the feeling that they're totally in control of what's going on the basketball court. Like they just happened to make enough shots to win the night. There were a couple of flashes of defense, but I mean, the Knicks just were worse than they were, plain and simple. Only bright spot for them was Brunson. Barrett had an okay game. Julius Randle, he got outplayed by Kuzma. Quentin Grimes had a couple bright moments, but yeah, it was a bad performance for the Knicks. Like when we were watching the game in the playback room, Kuzma shoot an ill-advised three that lead to a Knicks push. West intelligently calls a quick timeout just to kind of settle things down. But, stuff like that is why the Wizards are in the position they're in. It's clearly not the Knicks night, and it's like they're actively trying to help them get back in the game. Just continue to push forward and get the win, make it convincing. Like, it got spooky a couple times, and it really shouldn't have. So yeah, but a win is a win. I'll definitely take it. But yeah, things are what they are with the Wizards, man. It's their Achilles heel continuously shows up, and every time they're not as lucky as they were tonight to be able to pull it out.
Gardell.
Yeah, they had a couple lows, but defensively, I think is what carried them throughout the game. I think they played well overall defensively. I can't remember the last time, probably against the Bulls. Maybe I got to go back and check. I can't remember the last time they held a team to, 20 in the 20 range between, 20, 29 or something, 20 and 30 points in three out of the four quarters. Normally, teams are scoring 30 plus, 35 plus every quarter. So, that was encouraging tonight. I'm not going to go too far and say that's encouraging. Like moving forward, we'll see this. They've been too inconsistent. They have to prove that that's something that they are just capable of doing night in, night out. That's one thing. But that's to me what won the game. Julius Randle was 2 for pretty much the majority of the game. He had about 4 shots late, but they did an excellent job on him. I know Brunson got off, but a lot of their guys struggled to consistently get shots, and they started with Julius Randle. Then on top of that, offensively, they kept the pressure on them with their defensive play. They hit more threes, 16 out of 42, 38%. They shot fairly decent from the field overall with 44%. They made their free throws, but the ball movement, the assists, it made the Knicks have to work really hard to swarm and rotate and close out and stretch their defense and stress the Knicks defense, man. And you can see the fatigue wear on them late in the game when they tried to make a run, a final push to try to overtake the lead, but they couldn't. And then the other thing with the Wizards, the only negative outside of at the lows offensively where they were just falling in love with the three or whatnot, the turnovers. They had some silly turnovers, and that's what kept the Knicks in the game as well. They got out and ran, and got easy baskets. I think the Knicks scored 17 points off their 14 turnovers. Uh, that's the only reason why the score was as close as it was. If they took care of the ball, this a dub easily. You know what I mean? And then look, let's just be honest. The Knicks took it to the Wizards before, and the Wizards returned the favor. Kuzma had a monster game. He thoroughly outplayed Julius Randle tonight, 27, 13, and 7. With the All Star votes going on and that All Star weekend coming on, I'm pretty sure Kuz had this matchup kind of circled because they're gonna be in the mix of trying to be a reserve. Him and Julius, Porzingis was locked in all night. He wasn't most efficient as far as shooting the ball, but 22, 11, and 5, and the way he was active trying to block shots is what something we've been screaming about all year. Like, dude, you 7'3", they should feel you down there. He showed up to play. He definitely showed up to play, even though he fouled out. It was good to see Bill out there, getting back in form, getting his rhythm, getting his win back up, and all things considered, with the limited amount of minutes he had, but the efficiency he had a good game. So I just think it was a balanced attack offensively, and it took the pressure off of their offense because of what they were doing defensively. They didn't feel the need to try to be the hero and make a bunch of threes to keep it close or to overtake a huge deficit or whatnot. Their defense kept the Knicks at bay. For the most part, they didn't waver on that end. And all they had to do was just take their time to execute offensively, and that's what they did. And a win came out of it. Hopefully they can maintain this blueprint. This win and the Bulls win were very similar, and they were convincing wins over two teams that who knows. The Knicks gonna kind of be in the playoff mix. Chicago, if they get healthy or not, maybe they can make a push in the second half. You can't really count them out with DeRozan and Levine and Vucevic the way he's playing. So, it's just a matter of seeing they're gonna be consistent on both ends like they have, man, and like they were tonight.
All right, y'all know where this goes next. Player of the game.
Cool.
All right, very easy. All right, X factors. Had a couple different choices, but who you guys settle on tonight?
I'm gonna go with DeLon Wright. The hustle plays. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. He was all over the place. He did a little bit of everything, but it's the hustle play, like the hustle play where they leaked out and Manuel quickly thought it was just him and Julius Randle. He threw a no look, and DeLon was right there, right in front of him, took the steal and drew the foul on Julius Randle. I think his intensity defensively really set the tone for the rest of the team because we all know how the Wizards can get. They can start off strong defensively, and then a couple made baskets, and they just fall apart. But that wasn't the case. And I think he led the way in making sure that the defense was where it needed to be. And I know Brunson had a monster night as far as scoring the ball or whatnot, but he made Brunson have to work. You know what I mean? And his help defense, especially on Randall. Randall was seeing 2 or 3 guys, but DeLon was in there being active with his hands, like trying to really get the strip and really making Julius Randle have to pass it out because Julius is a strong dude. So if you come in there soft, you got multiple bodies around him. If you come in there soft, he will still be able to get a shot off and power up through that. So with DeLon still trying to strip him and act him hand, force him to have to pass the ball out, and that led to his frustration. And it's off night, so I think what he did defensively all around, and then the contribution offensively, rebounding, facilitating, and then only had 1 turnover on top of that. Look, man, it was just a flawless. In 22 minutes, he had a hell of a game, and for me, he's the X factor for sure.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. He's like you definitely felt his presence, and people will look at the box score and it's nothing overwhelming, but I mean, if you watch the game, like although the numbers themselves, like the impact they had was greater than just what you're looking at on a piece of paper. Cardell brought up the hustle plays. The times he kept the offensive rebounds alive to get extra possessions and stuff like that. I mean, it's invaluable, and it does it does rub off on teammates. It's contagious. You like if you're just watching one guy bust their ass like that, and you still just stand by doing nothing, and you just don't need to be playing basketball. So yeah, like when the type of stuff he brings to this team is it definitely can't be quantified by numbers. Like we've seen games where he have single digit points, and like 3 rebounds, 2 assists and stuff like that, but it's other stuff he does, like mentioning the digging down on Randall, things like that, and just his defensive presence overall. So yeah, I go with him tonight for X Factor as well.
All right, let's get to a couple of these comments. What's going on, Mr. Kirksey in Area 11T? Good one tonight. Been beefing about the Rui trade talk. This will help me be cool. It's nothing to beef about. He's either going to be here, it's going to be gone. But go ahead, Cardone, Ray.
Yeah, no disrespect. It's 0 for 7 night. Won't be much trade talk no more if this keeps up. So, yeah, he definitely got to play better, man. But it's the business of the league, man. You can't control it. Even the superstars get shipped. So, part of it.
Man, I'm good.
Good.
Got through the day, can't complain. We never we never put our foot on nobody's neck to let our bench finish.
Yeah, it's hard to do that when you don't get stops. Man, it's hard to do that when you take bad shots and pretty much help their fast break, give them easy baskets and stuff like that, man. Like I said, a lot of times the Wizards be beating themselves a lot of times, and that's what's frustrating. Like it's one thing you don't have the talent. It's one thing if you're just not up to par, but they compete with the team, had a lead, and then beat themselves, and then wonder why they lost. It's just not just they just got to play smarter and play harder. As simple as that. So right now, I'm not even worried about putting their foot on the necks of other teams. Man, just do what you got to do to string out W's.
Pretty much. So by IQ, say quickly play solid.
Yeah, a few silly mistakes that didn't help, but yeah, he definitely was efficient, man, for sure.
Area 11T for his comment. Nice win. Denny and DeLon with X Factor performance tonight. If they had a vote, that's their vote. That's what they would have. Michael Gersey said KP denied Sims was nice. I got hyped. Thought it was gonna be a pop the trunk moment.
Yeah, Denny definitely. He was another one defensively. While him and DeLon, they was swarming. They was putting their work, man. Denny did a good job keeping his body on Julius Randle. I forgot to mention him. Julius was trying to bully him, and Denny wasn't having it. Like I said, they were motivated off of how the Knicks carried things out there, but they did so last game in DC. So, this is one of those manhood type of things. But the thing for me with them is why I take somebody to manhandle you for you to just handle business, man. Shouldn't even take that. But, it's all in the game. But, yeah, 14-7, 6 of 11, Denny definitely did his thing. But KP, he should do that more often, man. 7-3 is big in the paint. Even though he's, thin, still 7-3. And then when you stretch out your arms and stuff and you drive in the lane, that's a presence. You got to deal with that. You know what I mean? So, he got him before he could really get to his peak, because we all know Sims literally looks down in the basket when he jumps. So he called him, and that's the beauty of being tall. You already up there. Everybody else, we got to jump to get up there. We got to work. You already up there, man. So, yeah, I want to see him more active, blocking shots and protecting the basket. That'll fire up his teammate. Look, you got a couple dudes that's going to swarm. You got, I know, game in, game out, it's 3 dudes that's going to swarm. Goodwin, DeLon Wright, and Denny. They're gonna be out there trying to strap. I know without a doubt. If he can give him some, Gafford gonna go for everything too. If he can be another one doing that, that changes the dynamic of their defense, dog, and then the wins will follow just by that alone.
And then, oddly enough, the 2 big time blocks he had went right in the transition layups.
Funny how that worked.
It's almost like defense to offense is a positive thing, And defense leads to wins. Shocking. Rui with the shockingly bad night. At least he put an effort on defense. Like Cardell mentioned a little bit, we had the official news when Shams made it official today. That pretty much Rui's out there. I'm not too shocked Rui had a bad game. Dude's been pretty consistent most of his time here. Now, if this continues going forward, then maybe something to discuss. But I'm personally not too shocked that the kid had an off night tonight. Anthony Tony with a sighting was going on. I figured this was going to come up at some point. John needs a new home. It's a shame he's not going to return, especially after that interview. To which Michael Kirksey responded, "Did y'all see the full John Wall interview? It was a good one."
Yeah, not the full. I've seen clips. I ain't had time to watch the full, but I've seen the clips. Tyler Hansborough to visit and Bradville. Yeah. Talking about Houston Rockets, you had certain dudes starting and dude like, dang, I thought he was cool though. Like it was yeah, he said a lot. He got a lot off his chest. Like you can tell he been holding in, he was holding a lot in, man. So he got signed. Look, man, John Wall, we all know, I think I speak for all DC. Look, man, it's much love for him. He did great things here, and I didn't appreciate how he was shipped up. You're going to ship him out, give him more respect. That's my only thing because he definitely put it all on the line all the time to try to help this team win. And like I said, outside the championship 70 years, you know what I mean, which we weren't even around to experience and know what that was about, he probably had the most successful run with the Wizards since then. They were a couple game or two from really getting to the Eastern Conference Finals or whatnot. You could say the Guild, they had success, but man, D Wade and Braun was taking them out quick. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the same. At least Wall and them were competitive in the second round and stuff like that. So it was different. Obviously, C-Wed, Rod Strickland, and those boys. Mike was in the East. It is what it is. It wasn't nothing going to happen with that dude in the league. So he had a most successful run. I like how he got in the community, especially like authentically, just really embraced our culture. What we do. And you know what I'm saying? That would sorely be missed, man. You don't really get too many all-star, superstar players to do what he did. But again, John got a lot off his chest. That clip about Brad. I see some of y'all comment that clip about Brad. If that's true, that was wild. that was wild as hell, man. But like with the Rui thing, it's the business of the NBA is crazy, and John got to take a little responsibility for why that occurred as well, man. Like you can't just ignore, the things he did to help add to the situation where we want to ship him. That video that came out right before they made the move to ship, that was embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Because you done had a couple more incidents like that, man. Like, come on, you're supposed to be the franchise player. You can't be acting like that, especially in your early 30s. When you're a young boy, he young, you get that pass, but early 30s, it's like, nah, player, come on, man. Injuries coming off that. It's already here that they might change directions anyway and try to build a team around Brian. You do that, he didn't help his cause, man. But like I said, give him the respect of shipping him out without, throwing dirt on his grave, so to speak, and kicking him on the way out. That was my only thing. But we'll see what he does in Clipperland. Regardless, we already know, like down the road, I'm pretty sure we'll see his jersey in the rafters, because he definitely deserves it.
Ray, anything you wanted to add with the John Wall interview? I know I haven't sat down and watched the whole thing yet. I feel like I've watched it because I've seen every clip that's been on social media. However, I'm gonna sit down this weekend and watch it. But Ray, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through, and John Wall need a mic in his face more often, man. He entertaining as hell. But I don't know if it was just because he hasn't really spoke on this stuff at length, and it's like kind of like a rapper's first album. They got years and years of material, and it's just all coming out. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'll definitely finish it when I get the chance. But yeah, like Cardell said, man, they owed him more on the way out. regardless of of what led up to that decision. You don't just throw away a dude that held the franchise down for 10 years like that. That was classless. And yeah, man, he deserved better than that.
For sure.
One more
Go ahead.
thing before that Tyler Hansbrough, I saw he came out and said that wasn't true. So I don't know. From our interactions with John Wall, he don't lie. He's very blunt, so that ain't going too well for Tyler. Like he really don't lie. Like he's super,
He's honest to a
blunt,
fault. I'm gonna say, yeah.
super blunt and honest to a fault. But that story is more common than what people realize in basketball. Like that's why I don't play it. I don't play that. You're gonna get a very bad reaction if I interact with you. You carry like that, like very bad. Because man, at the end of the day, we all human. We all man. You gotta chill with all that, man. You know what I'm saying? But you'd be surprised how many dudes, some of the dudes y'all look up to, players, athletes across all sports, how they carry like that. It's common. It's more common than you think, man. They really be thinking they God out here, and that's just wild. I'm not saying that's what the case was with Tyler Hansbrough. I wasn't there. He denied it. I saw the North Carolina players that played with him. I saw Marcus Ginyard. I was like, yeah, I don't remember that happening. They said it didn't happen, but I know John don't really lie like that. He don't be out here, you know what I'm saying, just saying anything, being reckless, man. So, it's wild. But regardless, he didn't go there. He went to Kentucky, did the thing, and bounced to the league. So, it is what it is. And even with John, he was pretty much the first, I guess, big name. When I got in the media game, I had to cover, with Down and Bounce. I had to do a story on the North Carolina Pro-Am, and that's the famous Who Mick Say where he dunked on Stackhouse, and he was just giving them boys the blues before he even went to Kentucky. Like he was just finishing high school, and he was the number one player in the country. So I got a chance to see all that, man, when he was rising from that point to when we was covering him with the Wizards, man, to even before that, after the Pro-Am stuff, before, when he first got drafted to the Wizards and he was playing in the Goodman League and then playing in the Goodman Coalition at Spin Guard and all that, like just seeing his growth, like I literally, as far as media, grew up at the same time he was growing up in the league. Just to see that progression, it was just, great to see, you know what I mean? Because we can't forget when he got drafted, that was on the hill of the Gilbert Arenas stuff and all that. The Wizards franchise was in a very bad place. I mean, it's not far-fetched to say they was probably at the bottom of the league at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, they rebuilding. You got that embarrassing situation going on, and you just drafting this one-and-done kid that, who killed college, who did his thing in college, but you hoping he can kind of uplift the franchise back to where it was and stuff like that. And he did that and then some. So you always got to give John Wall respect, man.
For sure. We got a couple of funny comments before we end it. The last one's funny, but I'm going to let Cardell answer that. Just because, and it's not your fault, Area 11T, but his answer should be funny for you. I'm not surprised, Mr. Tony. Not at all. That's all I'm going to say.
I need to think about
Mr.
it.
Kirksey, I'm also not shocked. I'm not. Also not shocked. Had me dying. I was trying not to laugh when you put it up there. And then this one, you don't know Area 11T, but I'm going to let Cardell tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I've been covering GW since like 2014. So, yeah, I saw pretty much every game Utah played in at GW. So, yeah, I'm very familiar. I remember when he came in as a freshman, couldn't speak any English. He was, let's just say, he wasn't Americanized yet. You could see the raw talent, but he wasn't Americanized. He was very respectful. And he found out around here, you got to be disrespectful if you're going to be any good in basketball. And by the time he left, speaking great English, he was cussing people out, talking ish. He got Americanized very quickly, man. So I'm not surprised, man. And he was GW Swiss Army Knife. Those were some great years, man, with him, Patricio Garino, Tyler Kavanaugh, Kevin Larson, Joe McDonald. They had about good 5-6 pros on the team, man. You know what I'm saying? And Utah is in the NBA. Tyler played a little bit in the NBA, so did Patricia with the Spurs, man. So you had like 3 NBA guys on top of that in the A-10, man. They was rumbling. It was them and VCU. They was rumbling for conference supremacy. But then that was just a special time at George Washington, because then on the women's side, I was watching Jocko Jones do the same thing, like quadruple doubles were normal. And I would be like the only person, me and the GW staff, watching all this. I'm like, yo, why am I not, like, it was crazy. And I'm telling people like, yo, she's going to dominate the WNBA. But everybody was so stuck on the UConns and stuff of the world. Like, all right, y'all see. And then she ended up being MVP in the NBA, WNBA. One of the best players in the game. So that was just a special time. I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon. I know they pretty much got 2 new staffs there. Caputo on the men's side and all that. So, and the new women's coach, her name slips me right now. But they're doing good. They're winning as well, man. So hopefully they can build that back up. But that was a special time with George Washington, special, man. And it's gonna be hard to duplicate that. But yeah, Utah, he literally grew up and became an NBA prospect, paid his dues in the G League, and now he's getting a shine in the league. So I'm definitely happy and proud of him.
I don't think the Nets letting that man go.
Hell no.
Man, when he came, I talked about you there. When he came in, I was like, he's hyped. His freshman year, he definitely came up. Talking about the mob you were just talking about. And then some love for JJ, obviously. Remember, Cardell was letting me know about JJ off the early. So I was grateful for that.
He was there. He transferred when Utah came in. He was there with the Mo Cree team that went to the NCAA tournament. When Mo Cree hit the game winner, beat Maryland at Capital One, the BB&T class. He was on that team, but he transferred. I think where he goes, St. Louis, something like that. He transferred or something like that, and he went to the G League. He still went and did his thing. So, but that mob by name, I mean. When I mean special, I mean every home game, line down the street, down there by the Smith Center, hard to walk, gym packed, sold out, can't even hear yourself. It was a special time at GW who's there. They had it rocking in there.
It's about JJ stuff. Area 11T wants more stories. It's story times. Hey man, we appreciate y'all support. We appreciate y'all routinely tuning in. We truly do. That's gonna be it for tonight. We'll see y'all. I know we'll have Ray and Cardell checking in. Saturday. They got Orlando coming to town, which should be fun. Markel's coming home. I know everyone's having fun bashing the kid when he's going through what he's going through. It's kind of sort of, I don't know, playing basketball well in the NBA for the Magic. And we'll see how things look because, Washington needs to continue stacking as many W's as they can. And this is the division opponent. So, we'll see how things go. But y'all have a great evening.